The princes and Sita, following Agastya's instruction, took the way to Panchavati. On the way, they met a huge vulture perched on a tree. They took it to be a Rakshasa or demon. "Who are you?" asked Ram in an angry tone. The vulture, however, answered in a voice full of mildness and affection, "My child, I am your father's aged friend named Jatayu." Then he proceeded to tell his story. Jatayu was the brother of Sampati, the son of Arun, the dawn god, who was brother to Garud, the great eagle vehicle of Lord Vishnu. He said, "When you leave Sita alone and go hunting in the forest, I shall be looking after her safety." The prince was pleased and accepted the offer of the bird with gratitude. They then proceeded on their journey. Ram was thrilled by the beauty of Panchavati and gratefully offered praise in his thoughts to Agastya for recommending the spot to them. He told Lakshman, "We can build our ashram and enjoy our stay here for any length of time. Those hills are near and yet not too near. And look at those herds of deer, the trees with their flowers and the sweetly singing birds, the river and the clean sand. Everything is beautiful. Choose for us a good site and build a cottage." Lakshman did as he was told. He constructed an ashram. In the ashram at Panchavati, Ram and Sita lived happily, lovingly served by Lakshman. One morning in early winter, the three went as usual to the Godavari for their bath, to offer their morning prayers, and to fetch water for the day's needs. They walked conversing about the beauty of the season. Lakshman thought of Bharat, and how he would then be busy performing the ceremonies appropriate to the month. He said, "Bharat is entitled to live in ease, but he has taken on himself a life of hardship because we live a life of hardship in the forest. My heart is full of sorrow for him. Even in this cold weather, poor Bharat no doubt eats sparingly and sleeps on the bare floor. This cold morning he too is probably walking towards the Sarayu. How fortunate we are to have such a noble brother. Pure in mind, speech, and conduct, renouncing all pleasures, he lives a life of austerity for our sake. He is exactly like our dear father, and quite the opposite of his mother. How could so cruel a woman as Kaikeyi bear so good a son?" Ram stopped him, saying, "Talk as much as you like of Bharat and of our father, but stop condemning Kaikeyi. All that you say of Bharat is true, and my thoughts also today go to him in love. How long yet to see him again? When shall we have that pleasure, Lakshman? When shall we four brothers live together again? Bharat's loving words are still sweetly ringing in my ears." Thus thinking longingly of home and Bharat, they bathed in the Godavari on that early winter morning. After offering oblations to their ancestors and prayers to the sun, Ram returned to the ashram with Sita and Lakshman. Their morning duties over, they sat whiling the hours with wistful talks of old days and tales of long ago. While they were thus recapturing the past in sweet companionship, suddenly a Rakshasa woman came there and saw them. She was Supernaka, Ravan's sister, who was roaming the forest full of base, idle thoughts. She was horribly ugly, but had the magic power to assume any lovely form at will. When she saw the godlike beauty of Ram, she was filled with uncontrollable lust and accosted him, saying, "Who are you, dressed ascetic, but accompanied by a woman, and carrying warlike weapons and arrows? Why are you here in the forest that belongs to the Rakshasas?" Ram began, "I am the eldest son of the great King Dasarath. My name is Ram. This is my brother Lakshman, and this is my wife Sita. Obeying the behests of my father and mother, and in fulfillment of duty, I am now in the forest. And now please announce who you are. What is your family? You look like a woman of the Rakshasa race. What is your purpose in coming here?" She answered, "Have you heard of Ravan, the heroic son of Vishrabhas and the king of the Rakshasas? I am his sister. My name is Shurpanaka. My brothers Kumbhakarna and Vibhishan are also renowned warriors. The lords of this region, Kar and Dushan, are also my brothers. They too are mighty men at arms and wield great authority in these regions. But I am not subject to their control. I am a free person, free to do what I like and please myself. Everybody in this forest is, as a matter of fact, afraid of me. The moment I set eyes on you, I fell in love with you. In fact, I now consider you as my husband. Why do you wander around with this nothing of a woman? I am the mate worthy of you. You come with me. Let us wander at will through the forest. I can take whatever shape I please. Do not consider this girl of yours. In fact, I shall eat her up in a second and dispose of her. Do not hesitate." Under the influence of lust, she thought in the manner of her race and spoke thus. All this amazed and amused Ram. He smiled and said, "Ho, ho, 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 beautiful one! Your desire for me will end in trouble for you. My wife is here with me. I do not care to live the life of a man with 2 wives. But, look here, see my hefty brother. He has no wife here, and is as good-looking as myself. He is the proper husband for you. Offer your hand to him, and leave me alone." Ram said this, being confident that Lakshman would deal with Shurpanaka suitably. The Rakshasi took Ram's advice seriously and approached Lakshman saying, "Oh, my hero, come with me. Let us together wander at will in joy through this Dandak forest." Lakshman entered into the humor of the situation and said, "Do not be foolish. He is trying to cheat you. What is your status and what is mine? I am here as a slave to my brother, while you are a princess. How could you become my wife and accept the position of a slave servant? Insist on Ram's taking you as his second wife. Do not mind Sita. Soon Ram will prefer you to her, and you will be happy with him." Impelled by brute passion, the Rakshasi did as she was told by Lakshman and went again to Ram. She thought and acted like a Rakshasi, for she knew no other way of life. The sight of Sita enraged her. "It is this wretched little insect that stands between you and me. How could you love this small-waisted girl? Listen, I shall finish her off this instant. I cannot live without you. Once I have put her out of the way, you and I shall live together happily." Saying this, she sprang on Sita. Ram intervened just in time to save Sita. The farce had gone too far and threatened to become a tragedy. Ram shouted to Lakshman, "Look, I have just been able to save Sita. Attend to this monster and teach her a lesson." Lakshman at once took up his sword, cut off her nose and ears, and drove her away. Disgraced and mutilated, Shurpanaka uttered a loud wail and disappeared into the forest. Bleeding and mad with pain and rage, she flung herself on the ground before Kar as he sat in state with his colleagues. Yelling with anguish, she related the story of her undoing. The scorn and mutilation she had suffered was an insult to the Rakshasa race, which only blood could efface. She said, "Look at me. Ram and Lakshman have done this, and they are still alive and roaming in your domain, and you sit here doing nothing." Kar stood up and said, "My dear sister, what is all this? I understand nothing. Calm yourself and tell me what has happened. Who dared to do this thing to you? And is he in the forest? Who is the man that wants to become food for crows and vultures? Who has stirred up the black cobra? Who is this fool? Where is he? Tell me, and he shall die at once. The earth is thirsty for his blood. Stand up and tell me everything as it happened." Shurpanakha said, "Two handsome young men have come into the forest, dressed like ascetics and accompanied by a girl. They say they are the sons of King Dasarath. These two together, making an excuse of the girl, attacked me and have hurt me shamefully. I am thirsting for the blood of these villains. Slay them now. Everything else can wait." Kur ordered his generals, "Go at once, slay these men and bring me their lifeless bodies. Drag the woman here also. Do not delay. Go!" 14 generals set out to do his bidding.